having access to the internet, I came across this Dixieland Jazz mailing list. And I thought, this is interesting, and all these discussions between various musicians all over the world, talking about traditional jazz. So I thought, one question that's always bugged me was, what's the difference between Dixieland jazz and New Orleans jazz, or even trad for that matter? So I put it in, can somebody tell me what the difference is? Well, it was like starting World War III.
Still going on.
Oh, dear me, somebody makes some comments, and say, what a load of rubbish, you know, and contradict him. And somebody said, oh, it's... In 1992, I retired, and so I had a bit of time on my hands. I actually took voluntary redundancy, which had some benefits because you got your stamp put on for nothing. And you could also go to the local university and go on courses and things, and I noticed they were doing one on the internet. And again, with my electronics sort of hobby, I'd read all about this thing called the internet, but I couldn't imagine what it was. So I did the course at the university, found out what it was on, what it was all about, went onto the internet there because now I had access, and I sort of started looking for jazz because I was getting back into it. And I do remember at that time there was very little on, but there was more coming from America and the Netherlands and places in Germany and places. But I do remember, I thought, I wonder if there's anything about Chris Barber. And I searched for Chris Barber and I found this came up, and the first thing was a guy called Chris who cut your hair. So, so things have changed quite a bit since then.
Don't tell the tax man.
When I began to think, maybe I could do one of these websites. And of course, you know, getting back into jazz, I thought, I'm listening to Tony Davis on Jazz FM saying that there was live jazz in the area. I said, well, I fancy going to listen again. You know, I remember going up to Lancaster only to find that, told when we got to the pub that, oh no, that finished a month ago, you know, but they're playing somewhere else. And they did tell us, so we did go. And I thought I might do traditional jazz in Lancashire. I felt that New Orleans was jazz, the Ken Collier in particular. I you know, that was the style that I preferred. So anyway, back to the website. In the end, I'd covered Lancashire. I felt, you know, I could sit back, and then I thought, and then I was being asked, can you put this on and can you put this on? And they were kind of outside Lancashire, so I thought, okay, I'll stretch it to Cumbria and Merseyside and Manchester. And so then I renamed it jazznorthwest.co.uk because I got the site registered then with a proper domain name, as they call it. And God, you have to think, what can I call it? So that's why I called it jazznorthwest.co.uk now. But one thing I do like about it is the fact that I'm keeping this material from a historical point of view, you know. And it was probably only about 7 years ago when sort of musician died, and I kind of, somebody sent me, probably dear old Joe Silman.
Oh, Joe Silman. Yeah.
Joe Silman used to write reams about the person who'd passed on, and so I put it on, and then I thought, well, perhaps I should set up a tribute page. And I think we were just counting earlier, I think it's about 125 musicians that seem to have passed on in the last less than 10 years.
Yeah.
And you look back and you see these names,